A two-day curfew has been imposed on Kashmir as the region prepares to mark 1 year since it was stripped of its autonomy. Indian authorities have defended the new restrictions, claiming they've received intelligence about potential protests. Thousands of soldiers have been patrolling the streets in Srinagar, ordering residents to stay inside. Razor wire and steel barricades have been placed on main roads to restrict movement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi imposed a direct rule on August the 5th last year, splitting Jammu and Kashmir into two federally controlled territories. The move provoked anger in the region and fueled further conflict with neighbouring Pakistan. Mr. Modi promised peace and prosperity following decades of violence. But New Delhi's clampdown on the region has shattered the region's economy.
Popular level, there is deep resentment and separatist politics. You have more, the extremist strands are also on the fore. More young people are joining militants, even though they don't have arms. But this is deep-rooted resentment is there. There is an uncertain situation of uncertainty. It doesn't seem that things are going to settle very soon in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir.
The removal of Kashmir's special status was followed by weeks of mass detentions and a communications blackout to thwart protests. 1 year later, hundreds remain under house arrest or behind bars without any charges against them. For the latest, let's speak to Neha Punia in New Delhi. Neha, get us up to speed then. Revoking Kashmir's autonomy was meant to make life better in the region, but there's been an upsurge in violence this year. Why is that? What's been happening on the ground?
Steve, there's still a lot of resentment and anger among the people of Kashmir over how this decision was taken and implemented, and they say that in the last 1 year their lives haven't got better, they've only gotten much worse. For example, the region is still living with limited internet connectivity. There are still a lot of restrictions on the mobility of people. New restrictions have been imposed on how the media can write about what the government is doing in Jammu and Kashmir, and there are also many leaders under detention, like you said, and Kashmiris say that the worst thing has been that the idea was to open up the economy of Kashmir, according to the Indian government, to allow the economy in that region to thrive. But according to the Kashmiri Chamber of Commerce, the region has suffered losses of more than $5 million in the last 1 year. There are also more than 500,000 people who lost their jobs because of this prolonged lockdown, and the COVID-19 lockdown that's now in place in large parts of the country, including Kashmir, has dealt a body blow to the region's economy as well. While the government is maintaining that separatist violence has gone down, media reports suggest otherwise. There are a lot of reports coming in from the region of people taking up arms to join what has been a 3-decade-long separatist movement, and many locals in the region say it's primarily because they feel humiliated by what New Delhi has done, and they believe this is an attempt to change the demographic of India's only Muslim majority state. But the Indian government, though, continues to maintain that any violence in the region is fueled by Pakistan and anti-India groups.
All right. Now, speaking of Pakistan, well, Pakistan's foreign minister has vowed that the region would one day become part of Pakistan. Now, we know the two sides have fought over Kashmir for decades. Has there been any diplomatic negotiations on this front, though?
Not at all, Glenda. In fact, Kashmir continues to remain the biggest reason why India and Pakistan have seen such historically poor relations, not just over the last 1 year, for many decades. Like you said, they fought 3 wars over Kashmir. Both countries claim that they have full stake over Kashmir, even though they govern only parts of that region. In fact, when India announced this move last year on August 5th, Pakistan downgraded its bilateral ties with India. Since then, ties have only gotten worse, with both sides trading allegations of human rights abuses in Kashmir, as well as Pakistan occupied Kashmir, as India refers to the region that is under Islamabad's control. We've seen both sides slash their diplomatic staff by half in each other's high commissions in the last several weeks. And as far as engagement is concerned, they've not engaged diplomatically in the last 1 year. And with Pakistan holding several protests to mark tomorrow, which is the revocation of the status of Kashmir, Most experts say that there is no sort of thaw in ties that might be around the corner. India continues to maintain Kashmir is an internal matter. It's completely refused any offer to mediate by the UN, by China, as well as the United States. And as far as it's concerned, it won't talk to Pakistan, it says, on Kashmir as long as cross-border terrorism continues.
All right, thanks for that update. Neha Punya speaking to us live from New Delhi.